Hello and welcome back to my fourth tutorial video. Since the newest update of the engine, we're going to have to change one thing real quick in our character. You no longer need to cast the HUD to the HUD, so you can just take that off and drag this to the target. There we go. Compile. And the error should go away. So next, let's go to the NPC. And click on the trigger. Right click, add event, collision end overlap, so that when we leave the trigger, we will stop conversing with the NPC. Go ahead, Control W on the branch and equal to. Connect it just like the other one to the player character, and then go to the HUD real quick. Add a new custom event that's leave conversation. So we can actually leave the conversation when we're done. Oops. Then get the HUD, drag off and call leave conversation. Oh, make sure you compile or else it will not get it. There we go. You have to make sure it says target is HUD or else you'll need to compile the HUD real quick. It will come up with an error if you don't. So now that we have that, let's quickly add in some variables that I have since added to the NPC. Instead of these, we'll be adding in special boxes depending on the resolution of the screen, so that it will be adaptive to smaller screen resolutions or bigger ones. You can have different numbers of characters. So we don't need any of these anymore. And it's in use somewhere. Okay, so we're going to have to edit this now too. This is these send lines. Okay, so we'll take off this. Don't need that anymore. Just connect that to that. And that should do it for you. Okay. Yeah. That's the only one that you need to change. So now you can Control W on that to duplicate it. And we'll be naming these. Oh, it's a long number. Okay. Well, you can name it whatever you want, but I have mine being the max number of characters per line, and then NPC or character, and then max res and min res, depending on maximum resolution or the minimum resolution. Order that, so then duplicate it, and change it to min. Duplicate it, and instead of NPC, it'd be character. Of course, you can make this whatever you want. It doesn't have to be really long, like mine, but over here, max. Make sure we got. Oh. Okay. So next, we'll need the max resolution and min resolution variables. So add a variable and change it to a vector 2D. So we'll call this max resolution. Set that to editable. There we go. Duplicate it, and this will be the min resolution. There we go. Okay. So we'll no longer need these because I have consolidated them into one of these structures. Let's go ahead and delete these real quick. We'll then proceed to add the new structures. So right click, blueprints, structure. This one will be called quest IDs text. Duplicate. This will be quest items, and duplicate again. Oh. And this will be quest struct. So save them, Open all three. Oh, I only opened one, but okay. So in the quest IDs text, we'll need first a text, and it'll be a array. We'll label it quest text. Add another variable. This will be name, also an array. This will be quest IDs. So what this will do is, depending on the quest, we'll have a certain ID for each quest, and then it'll correspond with the text. So you can have multiple quests and won't have any errors with the text coming up with the wrong text or something. So next we'll go to the quest items. The first one will be an actor and an array. So these will be our quest items that you could like quest awards and stuff. And we're going to need another variable, which will be an integer. And this will be the amount of items. Oops, I just took the I out. So now you have your quest items and how many items? Let's see. Yeah, so how many items you get when you get the quest award. So like you could have that as a gold coin or something and have 10, so you get 10 gold coins when you achieve the quest. And of course you can have multiple items and then multiple amounts of each item, which is where the quest structure comes in. So in the quest structure, this first variable will be quest IDs text. Add another one, and this will be the quest items. And they're both arrays. This will be the quest IDs text and quest items. So now we can add as many of these as we want without having any problems. And it's all in one variable, so we don't have to have multiple variables popping up all in our variables page. So now we need to add a variable, and it will be the quest variable. So make that editable. Change it to your quest struct. Yep, there we go. Okay. And one thing you should note, I put this in the tooltip. Okay, so the tooltip says that you have to put the IDs in order of your quest texts. So like if the first quest text will correspond with the first quest ID. So make sure you put those in the right order, else you have the wrong text popping up for the whenever you try to call the quest ID. So now that we have that variable, we'll need, don't need that. Okay, yeah. So we need another 2 more text arrays. Go ahead and duplicate that twice. This will be npc quest complete. Complete text. So when you complete the quest, this is the special text that will come up saying whatever the heck you want it to say. So this will be character quest text. No, complete text. Okay, yeah, I've completed the text. And you'll probably get items, which is what the quest items are for. We'll just continue on. So that's all the variables we need for the NPC. And let's go ahead, go back to NPC real quick, and add some stuff to the event graph. Let's quickly add a delay node right here, so that it doesn't immediately activate the conversation and then try to leave the conversation. Because if you're overlapping and right at the edge of the trigger, it'll get the begin and end at the same time. So we can put a delay in there so it doesn't do that. Okay, now that we've added the delay, we'll need to go to our master character. And I've already done all this because I recorded it, or did it without recording it in an accident. So I'll just go through what it is. So you'll need two variables, which will be the max and min resolution. The x, which is width. I have mine 1920 and 800, but you can change those depending on if it's like on a phone. You'll need those a lot smaller. So off of the set character, you'd need to get a branch and then set the max, and another branch and set the min. And off of the get player controller, drag and get viewport size, and then drag off the x and get a greater than and less than, and connect the greater than to the max and less than to the min, and then the greater than to the first branch, less than to the second branch. And then you need to make a custom event onto the branch for the resolution change. Okay, so resolution changes in the middle of your game, like you have an options menu and they change it, just to make sure the resolution's okay. Now that we have that, we don't need the character anymore, and we're done with the NPC. So let's we need to change something real quick in the character text. I've actually updated it a little bit so it doesn't not as big as this, because there's a lot easier way to do it. So let's just delete all this and instead add a grid panel and a button, image, and vertical box, and that's it. So that's a lot smaller than the other one. So now we'll just rename everything back to the original names, so you don't have to change anything in the graph. So okay, let's see, what was that called? What item image? Let's make this image. This might have been what it was. Okay. So you don't even have to change anything, but it makes it a lot smaller. Oh, wait, we do have to, let's see, make sure we format this correctly. So the button, go over here, column span 2. Oh, and on the grid panel, we'll need 2 column fills and a row fill. 1, and column fills 1. And the other one can be 0. So now, image, column 1, and the holder I think is fine. Yeah, holder's fine like that. Make sure you got the image to horizontally and vertically align center, and let's go ahead and bind everything back. So visibility, self hit test invisible, and bind it to the image visibility. Button, same thing, visible, and bind it. The holder, let's see, that doesn't need to be binding, so okay. So now we're done with that. We can get on with the hard stuff. Oh wait, actually, one last thing. I've edited the NPC dialog box a little bit, so it makes it easier to deal with in game. Okay, so what we need to do is the NPC. It's going to be like the character one. I think actually exactly like the character. So I wonder if we can, we'll just set it up like that real quick. So delete this, highlight, see if we can copy. be page. There we go. And okay, so you can move this. Let's see over here. However, wherever you want it. And that. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Shield one. There we go. Drag those. Make sure they're aligned correctly. Okay. Actually, well, doesn't need to be perfect. So make sure we got everything named correctly. And let's get rid of it. Okay. This will be the NPC image and NPC holder. Okay. Make sure the size box, size to content. Okay, so it's to 0.5 and 400, 315. Okay. Make sure everything else is set correctly. Okay, collapsed, and bind this. Set conversation visibility. Scale box auto. Yep. Okay. Image needs to be that's what it was. Okay, right here. Make sure to make it vertically aligned. And for the holder, I think it's actually good like that. Yep. Okay. So now we can start with the graph. So first things first, let's see. We're going to need to create a big function off of this. So add function. This will be called add text. Also add text to our conversation. We will need a bunch of variables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 variables. So we have, let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there'll be text, Boolean text, panel widget, character, okay, I guess it's character and it'll be an array. Looks correct, yeah. And then Boolean, integer, Boolean, Boolean, Boolean. Okay. So this will be the input text, big text, right, big text, array, conversation. Wait. Oh, I skipped one. Sorry, that goes down here. And this goes over here. This is actually panel. What is it? Widget. And loop. Count. number, button, character. Okay. So now I can go ahead and start telling you what all these does. Once we start creating it. Let's see. First we'll need drag off of this. Get a create widget. Yeah. Select the character text. Then drag off of this and set. Oops. But hold on. Set. Seems we are missing a variable in our character text. Awesome. Let's go fix that. Okay, so we need to add a new button. Make sure we got everything else. Nope, we actually do not have everything else set. Okay, so we need to fix some things, looks like. Add another boolean. Clicked. Okay, I think that's got it. So, on clicked button. Set. There we go. And the actual button. Okay, it's for the visibility. I see, okay. So we need to go back to the designer real quick. Go to the button. And bind visibility. Drag off. Actually, it's get button. And get a select. Oops. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the character text, even though it's called character text, for the NPC text. So, in the HUD, when we're using it for the NPC text, we'll have button to false. So then this will be hidden. And when it's actually for the character text, it'll be visible. That's what that variable's for. Okay. That's all we need for this. I think we fixed it now. Go back over here. Now we should get set. Yep, button. Of course that corresponds with button. And we'll drag off the panel widget and add child. So the panel widget will either be the NPC holder or the character holder. Off of that, we'll add to the array. Oh, okay, that array is wrong. It's not. Oops, let me delete that. It's supposed to be character text. That's what it is. Oh, let's just be down there. Array. There we go. Okay. So we have to add every text line to the array so we can later delete them and replace them if we need to. And then we'll need 2 branches. first branch will be connected to the conversation. Because I think we can actually use this for other things other than the talking with people. Like, I think we'll use this for the shop text, and I think quest text is just separate widget. So off of this, we'll be connected to big text. So what this one will do is if the text line goes over the width limit, then it's going to split it up and add it onto a new line. Okay, so Bandicam stopped recording, but I shall quickly tell you what we need to do. Okay, so off of the true, we'll need a create text, which you go from the widget, type in create text, and so that's what that is. And then off of that, we need a select, and the true will have a format with number and brackets and parentheses, so it'll look like that, and then your text or whatever numbers instead of changes. So this will change to 1, 2, 3, or whatever you put there. And number goes the to text from int, so all you have to do, I think you can just drag it, to number. And these won't be here until you put the brackets in for number and text. And get another select, connect to both the text and the false, and that would be connected to conversation, false to input text, and true to a new function that I call check LVSL, whatever that. So that's the end identifiers for your sentences, saying like if it's a leave sentence, a buy, sell, quest giver, whatever, and it will take it off. So we'll look at it real quick. So what it does, it takes it off, checks if it ends with it, and then replaces it so it doesn't have it in the sentence, and set it to true, that the sentence does have that suffix. So what you need to do is just drag this, you can actually get, I think, ends, and then drag, and it'll automatically convert it for you. And then just set each one of these, LV, SL, PY, and do that multiple times. So then after you set it, drag off of that and get it replaced, make sure it's the correct suffix. And you can ignore case, or you can make it case sensitive. And then just duplicate this for each one of these, ends with, place, ends with, ends with, place. And then drag and get to the text. Oh yeah, and the function needs a two text variables, input and output. So that's all that has, and that's connected to the input pin right here. Okay, so now off of the create text we need 2 more branches. There we go. First branch connected to big text. Second one, conversation. So it's just like the other ones. Okay. Then this time we'll switching it up. So instead of this being connected to false, it'll be connected to the true. Oh, and real quick, this false over here connects to the create text. Okay. And this false, go over here and you'll do set where is this variable? Okay, we actually need to quickly go over, click on that, and add 2 local variables. So 1 bool and 1 text. Big right text. So that'll just hold the text when it splits, so we can use it later. Big split. Okay. Now we go back over here. Set big right text. And get another one of these. Like that. False will be the big right text. Okay, so I was recording and had my mic muted, so I'll quickly explain what I just did. The false is connected to the right big text over here. The true is connected to this part of the text. And that is connected to the right big text. And you'll need a while loop with the boolean set to the local variable big split. And then you'll need to create a new function called checkline, or whatever you want to call it, which will split our line up if we have /br or if it's too big. And in that, we'll need 2 input variables, a text and a boolean, which will be the source string and if it's the character text or not, and 6 outputs, 2 booleans and 4 texts, which will be if the text is split or not with /br, and then there'll be the left part of the text and the right part of the text. And then if the text is too big, that'll be the left part of the big text and the right part of the big text. So you'll need to right click and get split, or type in split, and do end string for /br. Connect that to that, and it'll automatically convert it for you. And then off of the right string, get a right chop, and that will take off the /br. And then drag off of the left string and get select, and then click option 1 to the right chop, and then drag that onto the left, and it'll automatically convert it for you. And connect the boolean to the return value. Next, you need to drag off that again and get a select, and connect option 1 to the left string. Okay. And then off of that, you'll get a len, and connect that to a greater than, and connect that to the left too big, and drag off the bottom greater than, and get a select. And they were both connected to a floor, and the boolean to the character. Off both those floors, get 2 lerps, and connect each lerp A, B to the min and max value for a character and NPC respectively, off of the NPC variable. And you can just drag it to there and I'll convert it. And then get a map range and connect the alpha to the return value for both of them. And get player controller, drag off and get a viewport size, and drag the X to the value. And then get the character variable, drag off, get the min X and max res, and connect it to the A and B respectively. And then make sure to change the outrange B to 1. And then drag off the select again, get len, and subtract, and connect to the select. Okay. Then off of this, you'll need to get mid, duplicate, back again. And the count for this one will be connected to that. And the start connected to that. And this count will be connected to that. So this will correctly split the string in half. And then we'll need an ends with off of this to check if the split string ends with a blank or not. Let's see, there's space. Yeah, so put a space in here real quick. So now if it ends with a space, then it's good, because we don't want it splitting the sentence in the middle of a word. So, that is off the. Also need a find substring. Oops, that's item. Find substring for both of them. And the substring will be space. And search from in for this will be checked. Also need to get a len. And okay, so off of this, let's see, let's get a select. Okay, don't select. Oops. So you can go ahead and connect it there, but it's not going to be that. So then you go over here, and then you only have to convert it one time. Need that twice. There. Okay. And these two will be connected to this. Oh. There. Okay, so. Okay, the first two options, actually that was correct. That will go there, and that will go there. And. Oh man. Okay. Second two options will actually be two more mids. There. There. Start 0. Yeah. Okay. And select off of the count. And we'll need to add one more option. Connect that to the start. Then get a subtract. Integer by integer. Connect that to the second pin. Connect that to count. Okay, and connect these two source strings way back up here. Okay. First two options will connect to this. Off of this, actually quickly just get the map range, and then go like that. Oh, did it? Okay. And okay, option 2 is that one. Okay. So then off of this, let's see. Okay. B and A will go in and out, connect to the len. Oh, it doesn't have an index yet. Okay, so I have a custom function right here, but I'll just show you what it is. So all this does is check if it's greater than, equal to, or less than. Oh, actually, I should. So this we'll go here, here, and drag off. Let's see. We need to get a plus. Oops. Integer, integer, and connect that to that. Okay. Yeah. And off of this, get a select. And 100. There. Okay. And if this is equal to -1, there. Okay. And one last thing, this connect to that one up there, right here. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. That was quite messy. But last thing we need to do is connect that to there. Okay. And we're done with this. Hopefully we didn't mess anything up. No. No. Okay. So, we're done with the check line. Off of the check line, we'll get create text again. So, way back here, create text. And attach it to a select. Okay. Connect the boolean to the left too big. Oh. And false to the left. And true to the big left. Now go off and get a branch. Connect that to the big text. Wait. Yeah. And drag off set. Oops. Set big right text. We can just go over here and set the big split. Connect this. There. So now if the text is too big, it'll keep going until it's not too big anymore. And we'll fix these sentences accordingly. And we won't slice them up in between the words. And one quick last thing before we end the video. Quick, add that. And connect character all the way over to character. Oh, make sure you have the select over to number. Okay, there we go. Now we have all of our pins. Make sure we didn't forget anything. These two pins, I think, are left open. Yep. Okay. Well, thank you for watching this video, guys.